So I'm kind of curious because here's an example. Right there, when it does the that's going to be pretty much in time, and then it goes into this. And this is really, if you hear Rachmaninoff play it, you only hear the bottom notes. He's giving you, here's the beat, and here's the beat. You get this. Hang on a second. So it's like a magic spell of a piece where the music is constantly doing this flutter, like a whoosh. But there's like, it's written down in like, you know, a time signature and stuff. So it can't just be like here, there, or everywhere. It's got to be like,
yep.
You know. So talk to me about that sort of thing. What do you do?
Well, number one, you talked about how it deliberately notates when you push or pull the time. And people need to realize that when there is an undulation, undulations only make sense in context of a pulse. They can't exist on their own.
Okay.
That's number one. If you don't have stability, it doesn't make sense when someone pulls you, right? You just fall over, okay? If you have a root, then someone pulls on you and it feels a certain way, or they push on you and you feel it. If you don't have a root, you just fall over one way or the other. So that's first. The pulse is your root. And then two is rhythm, you know, as I define it, one of the core principles is repetition, meaning exact sameness. Exact sameness. So a pulse has an exact sameness, right? It's at this BPM and that's consistent. And then if you have something where it's supposed to accelerate or decelerate, you do it with an exact sameness. So if I start to accelerate and I don't have a consistency in my acceleration, maybe I start really slow and then suddenly I'm fast. Like that's not a good acceleration, you see? If it's a very consistent acceleration and it keeps speeding up and it keeps speeding up and it's very consistent, then it can build properly.
Yeah. That's great.
So it's exactly, you have to think of the timing of an undulation where it pushes or pulls precisely like you would with a really good crescendo or decrescendo.
Mm-hmm.
where
Oh,
it
that's
has
cool.
this like perfect, exact sameness, consistency in the build. It's consistent. That's the key word, is consistency.
That's really cool. So if I think of my melody that comes in the left-hander, as that's where my tempo is. So if I start the piece with that in my head, da-da, ba-da, ba-da-da-da, and I start the piece with that. Now when it says to, it only says to give a little, it says tenuto, just a little, and then we're back. And then it says cello rondo. This is in time. Establishing the pulse before it goes anywhere. Holding the reins, gradual. That's the hardest part, is it wants to run away. I think the climax of that part of the piece is to sit in the waltz and very slowly introduce the you know what I mean? It's hard to get that ramping. But I like what you said about it being, here is your tempo, stick to it, so that we know where you're deviating from. I think that's cool.